Hey, Dimitri, how you doing?
Hey, Will. Good morning. How are you?
Great. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is morning show number 4. Start of a new trading week. Should be exciting. Before we get started, a couple of the Chameleon pre-market ground rules. We're streaming live on YouTube. So any questions, just put in the YouTube chat. Right now, we have almost 30 people on. Remember to subscribe to our channel. Dimitri, who is really the brain trust behind this Chameleon, is constantly putting out great videos, and you want to be the first to see them. So subscribe, and liking us is always nice. It always helps. And with that, we should probably get the disclaimer up there, huh, Demi?
Yeah, let's start with the disclaimer and good morning to everybody. I hope everybody had a great weekend and excited for the week ahead. We're going to start out with just the pre-market movers, but before that, let's just get to the disclaimer. And everyone, Market Chameleon, we're not registered investment advisors, we're not broker dealers, we're not telling you what to do, we're just sharing ideas. Of course, if you need any help, you should consult an investment advisor professional or your broker. So there's the disclaimer really quick. And
you're back on, buddy.
Oh, all right, perfect. Am I sharing my screen still?
Yep, looks good.
Okay, great. So really quickly, I just looked ahead, and I'm going to go through, as usual, pretty quickly through things, so I could leave some questions towards the end, get some questions from the audience. But I looked ahead in what's coming up in a week, and one thing that might be interesting is that we're going to see some home numbers coming out on Wednesday. I think it's going to be the mortgage applications, also existing home sales, and that's one of the sectors that I think has reopened and it's kind of active. So it might give us a peek into what the consumer confidence, or what the true consumer confidence is right now. So hopefully that sector is doing well, and that's supposed, I think, those numbers are coming out on Wednesday.
Hey, D, hold up a sec. Are you sharing your screen, right? Are you sharing your screen?
I think I should be.
I don't see it for some reason.
Okay.
Does everyone see Dima's screen?
Do you want me to log out and log back in?
Yeah, why don't you come back in?
Okay. All right, let me do that, because I'm not, I don't have that control. All right.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Well, can you actually, I don't have control. Can you log me out somehow?
No, you probably, let me see. You just left.
Okay. Well,
I don't see your screen now.
Okay. So I think whatever you did, you actually, I don't have control right now.
All right. We could end and restart the YouTube video if that's what you want to do. Let me
yeah, I'm just gonna, just like I said, something I have no control right now over.
You can't control your camera or anything, huh?
Nope.
Yeah, I see your all right. Well, keep talking. Anything
okay,
you
here
see
we go. Here we
market.
go. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see.
For some reason, your video's off. I don't. I'm asking you to start your video. I don't know if you see that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't control you or kick you off. You can't share your screen right now?
I'm gonna try. It seems like I just got perhaps permission back on. Nope. Can you do that again? Whatever you just did.
Yeah. Anything
All right,
going?
so I think, yeah, you're turning off my ability to share my screen. It was there, and then you disabled it.
So you're not able to share right now?
No.
All right, I have it as multiple.
Okay, here we go. Hold on.
There you go.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. About that, everyone.
Hey, no worries.
So, yep. So over here, let me just log back into my session, and then so like I was saying, right, the mortgage applications, housing, I think on Wednesday, that could be an important number to keep an eye out for. So that, having said that, let's just go to the pre-market movers today. And I see just at the top, and now a lot of these pre-market movers, they're going to tend to be very low caps stocks. So you see here 12 million, market cap 23. This one's $1 billion. This one, DPW. This one's moving in the pre-market hours. That's up 122%. And this deals with electrical components for electrical vehicles. It looks like they had some positive news here. That's up really big. And that's what we tended to see kind of last week too. Anything in electrical cars, because of Tesla, they've been popping a lot, especially when they have any type of positive news. So this is up, 122% up to 459. The 1 year range is 53 cents to $10.68. Again, just keeping an eye out that. I know a lot of people like to play these illiquid big gapper stocks in the morning and after the market opens. I'm going to go through them quicker because we lost some time. Here are two other ones, IMR and BTAI. These have to deal with, these are biotech stocks. So here I'm going to just click on one, BTAI. This is up 32% in the morning. And here we see that this is the VWAP breakdown, how the stock has been moving around the morning. We see the bulk of the volume's been between 68.13, 69.40. Over here is the news. So we see here it's rallying on positive data. And I'm going to look really quickly from a historical perspective. When it tended to gap up in the morning, did it hold those gains throughout the day? Did it give it back? So let's just take a look from a historical perspective. What did it tend to do after the opening gap? And this is in the last 3 years. These are the biggest up moves in the morning in the last 3 years. So we see here on average, those up moves were 19.6%. Here we have one 62% on this day, and here it's 32%. So it's right in the middle of that high low, 62%, 18.5. This is the median gap, 14.3%. What did it tend to do? So here, according to history, 67% of the time after the market opened, it had a big gap move, then it tended to drift lower. But see on average here, it's neither on average gains or losses for an average of, an unchanged. But more often than not, it tended to drift lower after the opening. Let's just take a look at this one here, 62%. That drifted lower, 4.5%, not so bad. But you could see here from the whole low and high range, from the open to the high, on average, it's gained 10.4% to the low 12.6%. So it's probably going to be pretty volatile after the open from the high and low. So this is just really quickly from a historical perspective. And one other observation here is it looks like after some of these big gap moves, a lot of them were associated with press releases. It looks like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days later, that stock has on average added to gains. So you can see here after 1 day on average, it gained 4.4%, 2 days 6.1. So you can see as you go out in time, it's added to those gains historically. I'm going to close this for now. And another one that let's pop up to the earnings, because I wanted to look at, let's just see if there's any interesting earnings today pre-market. All right, so not that many right now. I see like Halliburton reported, that's up 5.7%. And so nothing really that jumps out at me. Let's take a look at what's the earnings that are upcoming this week. And then I wanted to show another screen from the options, because the screen I wanted to get to was some of the questions I had is people like to trade volatility and then want to see what stocks are coming up that there's an expected big move. What are the biggest expected movers coming up in the next week? So I'm going to do an example screen where we could look that up and see in either direction which stocks are expected to have really big moves. Now, before we do that, let's just see what's on the plate for earnings. We have a big earnings week coming up. This is in the next 2 weeks. And I'm going to go to, let's go to stocks that tended to have, trade more options. Let me just close this. I don't know if you could see it. So we see here, these are earnings that are coming up in the next, that are upcoming. We're going to look at from a perspective, what is the market expecting this stock to move in either direction? So from an options standpoint, we look at the straddle and we're able to interpolate what are the markets expecting this stock to move in either direction, up or down. So here we see IBM, that's expected from the market to move around 5.6% in either direction. It's Coca-Cola. This one is, I believe that's a credit card company, Capital One, UAL, Snap. And the way to look at it is, like you see here, Coca-Cola expected to move around 4.1%. We could compare that to what were the actual moves historically after earnings. And then we'll see, and then by comparing the expected move versus the actual moves, we could kind of get a sense of how much is the market expecting it to be over or under the historical averages. So over here, we see the last 4 quarters on the average move in either direction has been 3.4%, and the last 12 quarters, 2.7%. So we see that this 4.1%, it's about 0.6% over the 4-quarter actual average move, 1.4% over the 12-quarter move. And this is the median 12-quarter move. So Capital One, yes, Will?
Hey, D, we have, unfortunately, the video's gone blurry for people. Someone recommended maybe something was clicked by accident on your screen share. Do you want to bring down your video real quick? Bring down your share.
Bring down the share and
bring down the share
again. Okay.
Well, there's something that may be checked. I want to see if it's checked. Now go to share again. Don't hit the share button. Just bring it up like you're going to share. So you see all your computer screens.
Yep.
And on the bottom, there's 2 boxes that can be clicked. Share your computer sound and optimize screen sharing for video clip.
Yeah.
Are either of those clicked?
No.
There's no check in either of them.
No.
All right. Try to optimize screen sharing. Try clicking on that.
That's disabled, so I can't click on that.
Oh, it is? All right. It's disabled on mine as well. All right. Sounds good. We tried. Thanks, YouTube, for the advice. That didn't work. Again, for whatever reason right now, the video does share perfectly down to YouTube. So this video sits on YouTube at the end of the day. So you can go back and rewatch it. Sorry about that, Dima.
Okay. Should I come back in?
Yeah, restart.
Okay. Let me know if that's better. Is it because I'm moving around a lot?
No, we're still trying to figure it out. People are giving advice on YouTube. I'm going to copy and paste and we'll try some things, but keep going.
Thanks for the advice. In our test, when it's just the 2 of us, it works good. I don't know why we get that fuzziness, but we'll keep working on trying to resolve that. Again, just going through, I'm just going to go down the line, what the upcoming earnings and where the markets are priced right now versus the historical averages. And this is really a lot of people who play earnings and the earnings move. This is their first reference point when they start doing their research, is how much over or under are those option prices. And then they kind of decide like what to do from there, given any other research that they're putting in there. Here's United Airlines. This one right now, it's expecting 11.4% move versus that's 7.5% over the historical four-quarter average, 5.1% over the 12-quarter average. And we see here the range in the last 12 quarters. It's moved size 12.1%, minimum 0.9%. I have Snap here. This one's actually expecting to move below those 4-quarter and 12-quarter averages. That's 4.5% under versus the 12-quarter average, 3.8% under the 12-quarter average. And we see here that it's actually had some pretty massive moves as high as in the last 4 quarters, 36% range, 5.9% to the low. In the last 12 quarters, as high as 47.6%, as low as 5.9%. So there's really big range in that stock. Tesla, that's another one coming up. Right now, the expected move is 15.1%, which is a really massive move. It's a really high price stock. We see that's priced 4.1% over the 4-quarter average, 6.6% over the 12-quarter average. And that in the last 12 quarters, let's just take a look at that high-low range. That's moved as high as 17.7% and as little as 0.6% after reporting earnings. The last one I'm going to look at is just Microsoft over here. That's on July 22nd, expected after market close. Right now, the expected move is 5.6% in either direction. That's 4.1% over the 4-quarter average and 3.3% over the 12-quarter average. The high low for that in the last 12 quarters is 6.4% and as little as 0.1%. So that actually, Microsoft tended to be a more muted earnings reaction historically, at least in the last 12 quarters. So the next thing I wanted to kind of go over after earnings is and this question came up, well, how do I look up stocks that are expected to make explosive moves, upcoming explosive moves? And I'm going to show you a screen really quickly, how we could narrow those down. We're going to look at stocks that are what are the biggest expected moves and in what symbols. And let's just say in like the next 10 days. So I'm going to go here under screeners. We have options by expiration. And what this does is let us analyze stocks by a specific expiration. And what I'm going to do is look for any expirations. Let's just do it by days. Let me see if I can do it by, you know what, instead of picking a specific expiration, let me, by accident, I check these off. Let's do days to expiration. So let's look for any expiration that has 10 days or less. So these are where the options are expecting a big move in less than 10 trading days away. And also, let's just look for something where, you know, the option volume is relative. Let's say at least 5,000 contracts traded in that expiration. And now over here, I just narrowed this down from 26,000 to 4,300. And yeah, so this is the average volume. I think I put under, let me do over 5,000. So I picked under 5,000 by accident. So these are stocks that have relatively, you know, a good amount of options trading. And here, this here, implied straddle premium by dollars and percent. This is telling us, based on the option prices, what is the expected move in the stock. And I'm going to just sort this. Let's sort it by highest. So now we have, and you know what? These are low price stocks. So let's just put stocks that are stock prices that are a little bit higher. Let's give it, let's say above 25 bucks, because sometimes the lower price stocks just tend to move a lot anyway. And here we have NVAZ, that based on that option straddle on July 24th, 6 days away, this stock right now is expected to make a move 20% in either direction. NKLA, Nikola, 17.3%. INO Pharmaceutical, 16.6%. You know, and down the line, Tesla, of course, that has earnings coming up. So that's 15.1%. If we translate that into dollars, that's $225 in either direction. So right now it's $1,500 based on that earnings straddle, 225 bucks in either direction, or 15.1%. And this is how you could kind of really quickly, if you're looking for volatility, and some people do because they know that volatility can create an opportunity. Of course, you'd have to look through the options chain and strategize around it, but that's a really quick way to just filter out stocks that are expected to have very large percentage moves. coming up where whatever you select here, days till expiration. Since we have like 15 minutes to the open, if there's any questions, let's just go straight to the questions.
Yeah, Tom, who was super helpful trying to get people to adjust their screens on YouTube, was asking about AstraZeneca.
Okay.
I can't get a specific question out of him, but I don't know if you want to take a quick look at it, see if there's anything jumps out at Dimitri.
Okay. So, without a specific question, I'm just going to the stock, and you could analyze it from a lot of different perspectives, either from volatility, options, the stock itself. Right here, just popping in there, I see that it's just making a new high. It's up 1.3% in the morning. This is the 52-week high. I'm going to go look from just how it's been performing versus the overall market. We see here, it's been performing nicely. Last 2 weeks, 13.6% gains versus SPY 3%, 1 month 13.4% versus SPY 3.7%. So it's been pretty consistent, just outperforming the market, in last 5 years, 3 years, and so forth. I don't know if there's really news around it. I'd have to go in there and kind of like start reading it and digesting it.
Jake was saying he's been seeing a lot of call buying in AstraZeneca. I don't know if you see anything out of the normal.
Sure. So let's just take a look really quickly on the options chain. And this stock itself has been pretty busy. So look at the option volume, over 265,000 options have traded. That's Friday. And you can see here, that's all over the map. So these are all the different expirations over here. You can see 55,000 in the front month, July 17th, July 24th, 81,000. They're expected coming up with earnings July 30th, 20,000, even going all the way out. Like here, September, we see there's an annual research and R&D day, that's 22,000 here. So there's a lot of activity all across the board here. Something might be going on right before July 24th, because look at that 100. It has the implied volatility.
I'm sorry, Tom did get back. He was asking about the earnings. He wanted you to take a look at the earnings.
Okay, sure. So I do see that something's going, and maybe the earnings are already announced before July 24th. I have to check that. I think we're just estimating here, but it does look like, and they have some event coming up July 19th. So there is something coming up even before earnings. So let me just see if I have that event. Let me just see what the event is, because I do see that July 24th, that implied volatility is 100, which is very, very high.
Yeah, that's what Tom was saying. He's saying that the IV is making him wonder what's going on.
Right.
As well.
Okay. Let me just see really quickly if I could pull up the events. Is it on here? Oh, sorry.
No worries. Hey, everyone.
Myself. So so you see here they do come up with phase 2. They might have even a study coming up prior to earnings. These are the expected, but I don't have a definitive date. But in July, they are coming up potentially with some FDA stuff as well over here. I'm going to look really quickly from let's go to the options breakdown and just give you a sense of over here, July 24th, where the straddle is priced right now. That's expecting, 11.2% move. That's with 5 days business trading days to go. Earnings over here, that's right now looking like a 13.5% move. And since you wanted to see historically let's see how historically it performed around earnings. And this graph here, these bars are showing you what the expected moves were up or down in either direction. And then the red and green were the actual moves. So if it's below the bar, then the move was more muted than what was expected. The straddle would have tended to be overpriced. If it broke through, then the straddle was underpriced because the move was much bigger, like we see here in the green here. That the expected move was 3.4%. The actual move was 9.3%. So if you sold that straddle, obviously, then that would have been a big loser. If you bought that straddle for 3.4%, the stock moved 9.3%, you would have been a big winner. And here, I'm looking at the market, overestimated that the move 77% of the time. 77% of the time, the stock was more muted than the expected move. The average implied move was 3.4% in the last 12 quarters versus actual 2.9%. But here I'm looking at the long straddle from the perspective. That was a winner for 40% of the time. But I think because of this huge one right here, on average, you still made gains of 5%. So if you averaged all those 12 quarters, on average, it was still profitable from a long side because of this one big one over here. So you see, this is a biotech, it can move really, really hard, 5%. From the strangle, though, that was only profitable 27% of the time. But on average, if you did in the last 12 quarters, it would have lost 39%. It would have been a negative 39% return. So it would have been better from the short side. Let me just see here, implied volatility. So the implied volatility, as we know, options get priced really high before earnings in anticipation of a bigger move. Then the implied volatility comes in after. Here, we're looking at a 30-day constant maturity. So these are options close to around 30 days. The average implied volatility decline or crush has been 14%. The 30-day implied volatility on average going the day before earnings has been 25.6, the day after 22. 5 days later, it looks like it actually ticks up a little bit to 23. Let's see what it is today. So this is the average, 25.6 heading into earnings, as high as 32.6, low 18.4. That's the implied volatility data points here, and we see that 32.6, that's on the highest it's been, right? That's on a high range. So over here, you see on average fell to 22 the day after earnings, but it's been as high as 33 the day after, and as low as 14.9. And then here, it's been a little bit up and down 5 days after, 5 day, and it looks like on average 5 days later, it's been around 23. So it reprices and then looks like, maybe it sticks around a little bit right where it reprices the day after, maybe even ticks up a little bit coming out 5 days later. Hopefully that was helpful without a more specific question. That's just a quick overview.
No, it was Tom was very thankful. He actually posted a comment thanking you a lot. We're almost out of time. But Jake was asking,
Sure.
for anyone who doesn't know Jake, he's one of the great chameleons. He's been around forever, and it's been super helpful, giving us ideas about maybe improvements for the site over time. And he's talking about Tesla. I think Jake may have bought the stock instead of the car 5 years ago, and he's asking about Tesla and Nikola and KLA, which I think's a new issue. I don't know if we have enough data on it, but that's what he was asking.
Okay. And Jay, was there a specific question he was looking for with those symbols? Like, is it for option stock?
Well, Nikola's a newer issue, so I don't know if you can show the feature where you compare the two stocks, but he was just talking about him in a general term and asking if anyone was trading them.
Right. I mean, obviously, like Tesla's been on a tear. We'll see how what happens after their earnings, are announced. And I think I remember even Jake talking about Tesla for a while ago. So, this one you could see here, they're coming up with earnings. So as far as the expected move going into earnings, you see this bar here, much higher than historical bars, right? So a lot has been built into probably this earnings. I'm just going to look at the summary here and let's just see, like, I mean, I know it's made like phenomenal gains recently. Let's just look at this trading stats. So here, just in 2 weeks alone, the stock's up 24.2%. In 1 month, it's up 51.3%. You know, this is how it compares to the market. So a lot of enthusiasm, maybe, you know, and maybe it's justifiable, but obviously there's a lot of gains in there right now, and that's spilled over to companies that are doing something similar to Tesla as well, because I think we showed one today in the pre-market, and that's kind of been the theme that I've been seeing, where there's like sympathy gainers, right? So sometimes you look at the pre-market, like here we go, and if you're expecting certain trends, like they're coming up right now, like I think this is one of them, right? Power, electrical. Let me just look at let's see from similar stocks. So these are stocks that are, you know, electrical equipment and parts. So this is how this is doing today, 149. In the last 6 months, we see it's gained 42%. In 1 year, it's down 73%. That compares to in the last, what's that, 6 months, on average, these electrical component, whatever, you know, there's a lot of them in here. They've lost 16.1%. And in a 1 month, you know, on average, on the median return was 3.1% versus this one, 23.4%. Not even sure if, like, let me sort these by market cap. Wonder if, like, I don't even know if Tesla would fit into this category. So it actually doesn't fit into this electrical equipment and parts, more like a car manufacturer. Let's just look also from what was that stock again?
NKLA, Nikola.
This one's the PPW. This was the one that's in the pre-market. But I don't even know if this is like a direct competitor to like Tesla. Well, it does do those electrical components. I think they got approved to do for vehicles. What's that symbol? NKLA.
There, Dima.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming in a little fuzzy. It's 9:25 though. You want to try coming out or coming back in, or should we end the show, you think?
I think if I exit and try to come back in, it'll probably be right at 9:30. And I know people have those start trading day. So maybe we'll end here and I'll pick it up tomorrow.
All right, that sounds good. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. Sorry about the little bit of technical issues. It happens on Zoom as well as any other platform. Dimitri, great job. A lot of great comments. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We're going to do it tomorrow morning and have a great start to the trading week. Thanks, D.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Great trading day. Bye-bye.